Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 100 Days of Magic. And today we're going to do Storytime Part 2 while I re-sleeve. Had a few of y'all comment on what's my pet deck. And y'all know I kind of get everybody asks me what's my favorite deck, and I always say that, oh, that's asking what my favorite child is. But there is one that I always come back to that I love to play and I love to tune, and I've constantly tuned this one. I think I've had Azusa built for 8 or 9 years. It's been a while. So, and it being mono green, there's one card out of it, as you can see, that is in the box of going to get signed at the Grand Prix. So, we're going to re-sleeve Azusa while I pick up where I left off last time at the story time. So, where was I at? 2008, I believe. 2008 was the year I opened up my game shop. I called it the CCG. It was Canada's Collectible Games. I thought it was kind of a clever play on words and whatnot. So let's see. Opened it up. I signed a 2-year lease on the building. Now, the building was not in as good of a shape as I would like to, but the location was absolutely phenomenal. It was right across the street from the local high school. So I got a lot of snack business after school. School got out at 2ish, 2:15, I think, and uh, the hour from 2 to 3, I sold more drinks and snacks than shoot. And because I am a grocer, yes, yeah, that's all of the unstable forest I've got. I'm in the process of unstable foresting this deck out, but it's an Azusa deck, so it's got a ton of forest in it. But it was a really good spot, and at the time that I opened, there were two. Let's see. There were two other game shops in town, or was there three? I think there was two up on the north side and one on the south side. So, this sleeve's split. These are really, really old sleeves too. They've redone the Magic back to where it's blue now, but I believe this is how the Magic back would look if they did it now, because there is no deck master, and it's yellow because yellow pops a little more off the shelf, is what they say. But anyway, and I opened it. Now, keep in mind, I had my full-time job still, and I opened it with the concept of, we're going to break even. I'm not going to, try to make money, because I didn't need it to make money. I needed it to break even to pay its own bills, because I had my job to pay for my home bills. So that way, win, lose, or draw, I wasn't going to, affect the home bills. So a good buddy of mine came to work for me, and he opened it up in the morning. I said the mornings. I think we opened up at noon, and I stopped by after I got off work at the grocery store. So, and I'll admit, it started off slow. That first couple weeks was scary, but we built a wonderful, wonderful community. Not just Magic. We had it was typical game shop stuff. Now, I did, my mainstays were Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Warhammer, and D&D, and board games. Board game. I mean, y'all know the board games I'm talking about. We're not talking about the stuff that you can buy at Walmart. And my big thing was because I had come from such a competitive background of retail grocery, is that I wanted to be the cheapest. So I was the cheapest by far. And I could do that because I did not need the store to make money. I just wanted to break even. And because of that, I had a lower price than most folks. And I was getting players traveling from, heck, I had one group come from Mississippi every week for F&M. Now, and I tried to do, because I had spent, at that time, what was it, 15 years in various game shops around the country. I knew kind of what a player was looking for. And because I had spent 20 years in retail management, I kind of knew what a business was looking for. So I was able to perfectly merge the two of those. Now, also at this time, a little personal background. I had two children in high school and I had two children in elementary school. So it was quite an undertaking. The weekends were especially hard because I think we closed up at 7 or 8 o'clock through the week, and then we closed up at on Friday and Saturday when everything was done. Because I had been in a lot of game shops to where it was on Friday night, as soon as the last match finished, okay, time to go. And I didn't want to. I don't know. I've always been in under the impression, you know, don't rush people out the door. Don't do it. Because my whole thing was to create a place, because on the south side of town here, there wasn't a lot to do for kids. There really wasn't. And we had a lot of, I mean, I had a lot of people just become Magic players or Yu-Gi-Oh players or Warhammer players because of just the osmosis of just being around it. Because, a couple of their friends. So I tried a bunch of stuff and found a lot of things that worked. I was, random, I guess what they would call door prizes was kind of my thing. When a set would come out or at a pre-release or just regular F&M. Oh, M10. The M10 came out and we were looking at spoilers. Now, y'all know Jump has always been my card. I don't know if I've told the Jump story yet. If y'all are interested, comment, let me know. It's a story on its own. But everybody here locally knows about my obsession with Jump. And I'll never forget, over, I think it was Facebook, a good friend of mine, Wesley, said, Brian, they spoil Jump. They spoil Jump. So at the pre-release, what I did, I said, from this day forward, anytime anyone wins a game with Jump, meaning the last points of damage were from a creature granted flying with Jump, you will win a pack. And did that for the entire rest of the time we were open. Now, drafts of M10 were interesting because some people would just draft Jumps and would not like win the tournament, but they would win so many packs because, I don't know, are these still decent enough to use? There was a couple that was split. I don't know. I may put them in a box and save them for a rainy day just in case I ever run out of sleeves. But and that happened quite a bit. I mean, a lot of folks won with Jump. Canada forcing people to play with bad cards. If you don't know anything about Jump, there are like 1,000 cards better than Jump that do the same thing. But now, let's see, where was that? M10. I had a lot of, I guess the beautiful part about my background is that it is retail, and I had, what was it, six? I had six suppliers. Most stores have 1 to 2, and I had a few people ask me about comics. We'll get into the comic thing. Now, I am not a comic guy. I all of my comic knowledge comes from just hearing about it through people that are. So I'll try to softly place those because I know that's a very hot button topic right there. Some people love the sound, that sound, and some of y'all don't. So, uh, what do I try to place every other one? Do I don't know. But anyway, so I said, you know what? Okay. So I got with Diamond and I, started some comics. Now, here locally, there is a comic shop. And it is a comic shop that has been there for like 30 years. And it's an amazing comic shop. It really is. Uh, and, you're a long time comic. They've been going to her their entire life because their parents. Anyway, so it didn't take long before I realized that comics were not my jam. It was not a thing that I was going to be able to do and do well. And that's my thing. I guess it's the super competitive aspect of me or whatever. Whatever I'm doing, I want to do well. So I shut comics down. I canceled what orders they would let me cancel, and then I had a few. I shipped them all, uh, boxed them up, and shipped them to our troops. I had several of my local play groups were deployed at the time, and so I just shipped them over to them. Because and as it turns out, box full of comics, and I got some Magic starter decks. For Wizards. Oh, that perfect fit is not so perfect, is it? Let me get me a pretty crucible for this deck. This is a deck I wouldn't mind actually blinging out, but some of these cards, like, I don't know that this exists in foil. It's a terrible, terrible mean card. But got out of comics. Had a lot of supplies, man. Because people are constantly looking for decks or deck boxes and sleeves, and that was my big thing was variety. Um, Chess, I had a lot of different chess boards. I had a giant 4-foot square chessboard. I think the king was 2 foot tall. There's always been a special place in my heart for chess, and it was just an all around. I mean, I had we would have pauper tournaments, and even before pauper was huge, because this was what, 2009. Now, in late 2008, the World Championship came to Memphis, which is a little over an hour away from here. So, um, talked to the player base, and we quickly realized that, wow, everybody was going to be there. Nobody was going to be at the shop. So I said, you know what? It's never going to get any closer. So, me and the wife and my son and this guy that worked for me, a couple others, we all loaded up and went to Worlds just to check it out and see. And we all played against Richard Garfield, which was amazing. He is such a heck of a guy. He beat me, but everybody else that I taught how to play beat him. I don't know. I knew I messed up when turn one I played. I think I played Land, Mana Vault, and something else. And he said, "Oh, my babies." And I realized that I had made an error in judgment, that he had designed every card I was playing with. Now, some of the later cards he didn't. But it was a good time. We tailgated Worlds. Uh, got to meet the guy that worked for me, Corey, he had his a playmat like autographed by the Pro Tour. I think he got 30 something signatures from the Pro Tour on his playmat, which was awesome. Uh, but anyway, um, we let's see, had a sold a lot of weird. Like I said, I would always be on the search for something weird and different that a lot of stores didn't have, or things that could only because a game shop is more. It's not as much about the games you sell. It is about the, how can I put it, the ambiance, the environment that you foster, and uh, we were just there to game because that was the thing. Uh, I had someone who was behind the counter and doing the actual physical work, and I could play the role pretty much of host of the party, if you would, and that's how I portrayed it. We were always having a good time, but my lease was for 2 years, and we started getting to the end of it. And my landlord, who absolutely adored us, um, he said, "Brian, I would love to have y'all have you stay for however long." And it was an old building, and the owner there, I think he was used to doing most of his own maintenance, but he got to the point where he just couldn't. And there was two big problems with the building. Number one, the roof leaked, and that's kind of a no-go. I've got a store full of stuff that can be ruined by water, so it was always an adventure when it rained. And the other one was air conditioning. It was a 220 window unit, and that was my only air conditioning for the entire place, which was not enough. So I told him, I said, "Hey, I would love to, but I need these two things because in August, when it's 100 degrees outside, it's 95 inside my store, and nobody wants to come and stay. And I can't blame them. Hell, I don't want to be there." And I said, and we need something done about the roof. And he just said, "Well, I can't do that." And I said, "Well, I don't have to do this. I can just pack this up and take it to the house. This is a hobby for me." And I had to, I hated to do it, but I had to draw that line. And the building's still there and it's still empty. A couple places have tried to come and go, but it's the same problems are still present. So, and probably worse now since it's been idle for so long. But I also uh, had my oldest two were starting their senior year in high school, and I knew that was going to be it. Well, I thought that was going to be it because they had, high school seniors. They had plans on what they were going to do, and I was spending, like I said, I would get off. I would see them Thursday night, and then not again until Sunday because of just being at the shop. And now I'd see the older two because they were right across the street, and they'd come over and hang out for a little bit before going home or doing homework or whatever. But and my youngest two were in scouts, and uh, so family reasons, and I had to draw that line, and it was a very good experiment for later on. I always said that I'll do it again when I retire. I don't know when that'll be. Uh, Probably not too far into the future. got to put one blank up there for the card that's in the to be signed. I wonder if I can slide these other 20 sleeves in this pack. I don't know that I'll ever build a 60 card green deck. I don't know, I might. Still got this modern deck rolling around in my head, but there's no green in it, so. Oh shoot. I didn't do my girl. It's okay. One ring to rule them all. She's fine still. So I shut it down and we took all the stuff to the house, and I've pretty much still got it. Most of it. I never really liked that clear. I think we're gonna fix that right now. I have to be very, very careful here because, you know, razor blade and all. But that's what I will do later on once my, home obligations are no longer as great, once the house and the cars and all that jazz gets paid for and stuff. So I may do it again. Oh shoot, I didn't look at what deck that was. Number 9. Number 9. Wow, this was a long time ago. I did that video, what was that, 2 years ago? And, hey, oh no, we're still on number. Do I need to do her? No. Well, if there's ever another Azusa, we'll come back and I'll label it Azusa. Lost but seeking. But right now, she's the only Azusa. I guess if we ever go back to Kamigawa like Evan wants. But I don't think we will. Hey, I thought about a commander deck idea for like a set release. Have 4 or 5 decks, whatever they want to do. I don't think they've been doing 4 here lately. Having like a deck centered in each plane, like have a Kamigawa deck and not do the big major ones, like, obviously Ravnica, Innistrad, Dominaria. No. Ogrotha, Kamigawa, like weird ones, I don't think they'll do Rabia, but anyway, I guess that's it for my shop story. It'll happen again at some point in time. I don't know how many years from now, probably a long time, but love the Azusa deck. Anyway, that's what I have got for the 23-minute. But it takes 20 minutes to de-sleeve a deck. Wow. Or to re-sleeve. Well, I guess I will see y'all tomorrow. Get back here and start building on some Ravnica Allegiance spoilers, or decks rather. We'll see you tomorrow.